Good morning.
Good morning.
Is this the last Friday of February?
It is the last Friday of February. February is almost over, people. Get
Yeah.
excited.
We are excited. I'm excited. And the snow's
It is
almost
the worst
melted.
month.
It is, yeah.
It is the worst month.
And there's just a little pile of snow here and there in the parking lot, so...
Yeah.
God,
Waiting
it's
to get
worse
my
than
car
snow.
washed until it all melts and we get like a rain to wash everything away.
Okay, all right. Yeah, might have wait another week. All right, so we're continuing on with our Lenten study series, and that's going really well. So thanks to all who are tuning in and having mercy on us by throwing some questions so we can answer those and not just talk the whole time.
Yeah, no one wants to hear us talk for a full hour. It's not productive for anything. So we're grateful for that. I'll be going on Wednesday at 9:30. I'll be continuing with what Father Schrader talked about last night, the character of Inspector Javert. So really excited to do that. Just a great story and a lot of great themes that we can draw from throughout this Lenten season.
Yeah.
Reconciliation. Lent is a great time to go back to the sacrament of reconciliation. And we're excited to be able to offer an additional time for folks to receive the sacrament of reconciliation. That'll be after the 10:30 Mass on Sunday morning. So we have our normal time on Saturday afternoons, 3:30 to 4:30. We have our normal time after the 8:45 Mass on Sunday mornings, but we're also going to be offering confessions after the 10:30 Mass. So just a great opportunity if you're either coming for the 12:15 and want to get there a little early, or want to stay afterward after the 10:30 Mass. Either one of us will be in the confessional after the 10:30 Mass to be able to hear your confessions. Again, just a great way to make the sacrament more available for everyone during this time when people want it. So we're happy to do it.
And be thinking about, people have asked about some of our neighbors, St. Clair of Assisi and Ascension both have confessions Monday through Friday after their early Mass. So really, we're trying to think regionally as priest and say, hey, you might not be able to go to Incarnate Word for confession every day of the week, but within 15 minutes of us, you can find confession Monday through Friday, and then maybe people at Ascension or St. Clair, they need confession on Sunday, they can come here. So that's just sort of the future of our ministry, is not always being able to offer everything for every schedule in every parish, but as a group, being able to accommodate that and share the workload. So just kind of be thinking of that as you plan for confession, whether it's here at Incarnate Word or at one of our neighbors, we should have you covered.
Yeah, it's just an important thing to mention. We're offering this because this is a time that is sort of underserved, you could say. So our availability is we can do that. The beauty is our other parishes around us do a lot of confessions at other times. So it's available. Confession works here just as it would at Ascension. A confession is a confession is a confession, you could say.
I think Father Mullany is a little tougher, maybe.
He might be.
Penances are a little bit bigger.
He might be.
Yeah.
Father Lampy's probably a Scrooge too. He's my classmate, so I can make fun of him there.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so we're excited to offer that extra confession time on Sunday mornings after the 10:30 Mass.
All right, stations tonight at 7:30, featuring Father Schneier. He will take you on the way of the cross. And you can also view the video of Deacon Funky leading the stations. If maybe 7:30 doesn't work for you, maybe you're still on Olive waiting to get into the fish fry. That is available under the Lent tab on the parish website. That can be viewed. You can do those stations anytime.
Yeah, anytime, on demand. So, and then the 7th grade is holding stations today at 2:30. That'll be on Facebook and on the parish website too.
And our 8th graders are working to raise money for their end of the year activities. It's called Dine Your Way. I actually bought a few tickets, which is exciting, even though I never win when I buy things here at the parish. So it's a great donation. So the tickets are $10 each. The grand prize is pretty massive. It's $1,000 in restaurant gift cards, but you get to choose what restaurant or restaurants that $1,000 go to.
That's really good.
Yeah, in the past it was just sort of like whatever you got, you got. Now you can pick. So I don't know if it's going to be Dairy Queen if I win, or you'd do Satchmo's probably.
Satchmo's. Chick-fil-A. That goes without saying.
Well, and of course our parishioner-owned restaurants.
Of course.
That's a given.
Of course.
At least half would go to one of those, but. For our little guilty pleasures, we're thinking of those as well.
Satchmo's and Chick-fil-A that'd be my guilty pleasures.
So there's first, second, and third prizes. We're just talking about the grand prize.
Yep.
And the students will be selling those tickets after Mass this weekend. The drawing will be on March 26th.
I'm excited about that. This is, I mean, as someone new, this is the first time experiencing it. So,
Sure.
potential of $1,000 towards the restaurant or restaurants of your choice is very appealing to someone who hasn't missed a meal in a while. Baptisms. We had a baptism last week. Miles Richard Becker, the son of Jeffrey and Jenna. So congratulations to baby Miles and all of those who were baptized and brought into the church. We've also had a number of deaths, unfortunately, in the parish in the last couple weeks. We pray for the repose of the soul of Larry Deloney, of Ron Tischer, husband of Michelle Tischer, who worked on our athletic fields for so many years here at the parish. Barb Wetzel, mother of Ann Kleckner, and then William Smogy, yes, son of Mary Smogy. So for all of them, for the repose of their souls, we pray for them and for their families. All right, readings this weekend.
Wonderful readings.
Transfiguration is the gospel.
Yeah, I'm pretty much spending all of my time, and I can't spend enough, but all of my time on the first reading, and really going into the background of the sacrifice of Isaac. You know, when we hear that story, I think most of us know it. We kind of think maybe God's a little bit of a jerk or a psycho, that Abraham finally gets this kid. He's 100 years old when Isaac is born, and then God's like, "Oh, you have this child that makes you happy? Go sacrifice him." But there's a whole backstory to this, and what I think ultimately, it's not really about Abraham at all. It's God knows he's not going to take. God never takes anything back. He always gives, but he never takes it back. He never goes back on his promises. God knows he's going to let Abraham keep Isaac. He's going to keep that blessing. But I think it's almost like when we have prospective parents come to the school for their kindergartner, they might come 2 or 3 times, maybe even multiple years, to make sure we're going to take care of their kid. You know, that we're going to be a safe environment and help them learn so much. And I really see that is what's going on in the first reading today, is God saying, I'm going to give you my son. He's going to die for you and for your descendants. Can I trust you? And the test is, would you be willing to give me your son that you love so much? I really think that's what God's doing. He was never going to take Isaac, but he did want to make sure, are the people that I'm going to give my son to, are they going to be trustworthy? Are they going to honor him, love him, and have faith? And Abraham does. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about that story because I think it's important that we know the whole story. And then we see in the end, God promises, I'm going to give you a sacrifice. I'm going to provide a sacrifice. And we see that in the Transfiguration. This is my beloved son. This is the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Transfiguration, but mainly talking about the divinity of Jesus. I think, obviously, in Jesus the person, we don't see his divinity. We see his humanity. You know, if Jesus is walking around with us, he would look no different than another human being. He would talk no differently than any other human being. You don't see his divinity, except for in the Transfiguration. That veil, if you will, is sort of lifted a bit. And just going to talk about how, no, Jesus is divine. I think we can lose sight of that fact. I think especially when so many people sort of see Jesus just as a nice guy or as a moral guide for some stuff in our life. No, he's God. He is fully divine. That point has been disputed throughout the church's history. But we believe that Jesus is fully God. And that beautiful truth comes through in the Transfiguration, in that moment where Jesus transfigures himself and those chosen apostles are able to see him, to get a glimpse of his divinity, to have that veil lifted a little bit. So yeah, just going to talk about the divinity of Jesus.
So are you saying I should get rid of that picture of Jesus playing soccer in my room?
No comment.
But he'd always have a perfect pass.
He would always have a perfect pass. He would. Yeah. He'd be better than Pele. But no, he's certainly more than that. I think just the transcendence, I think we lose. We just consider Jesus to be a good guy, which he was. But we can't lose sight of the fact that no, he's fully God and he transcends. He transcends us. And so even just how we worship him should have that transcendence to it.
You know, one funny story before we end, one of the parishes I was in, some of the lights had gone out for the altar, the spotlights. Yeah. And it just happened to be before I think it was actually before the Feast of the Transfiguration, but me and the maintenance guy had gotten up there and actually replaced the spotlight. So that Sunday, we read about the Transfiguration, and my vestments, super bright, and people were like, "Oh, it's a miracle! We heard about the Transfiguration, and your garments, your vestments were dazzling." I'm like, "Sorry, it wasn't a miracle. We just replaced the spotlights."
Yeah. It's like Jesus was in one of those Tide ads from a couple of years ago, like the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So clothes were dazzling white. Tide ad.
Well, you guys have a great week. Hopefully, Fish Fry. We were just slammed with business and online orders and problems. So hopefully that'll be
made it a little bit smoother this week.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So you can pray for that, and then maybe we'll see you when you place your order.
Yeah, and again, hope to see you all this weekend. We were so blessed. Last week we had a lot of people come in person to Sunday Mass. We hope that keeps going. Case numbers have really plummeted in the last month or so. We got more people vaccinated, and I think Ash Wednesday helped. Just to be able to have folks come back. So it was great to see a lot of people back at Sunday Mass. We hope that's the case for the foreseeable future too.
Yeah, and the Archbishop, I'll reveal this next week, but the Archbishop wrote me a letter and said he asked, but he told me he's coming to Incarnate Word for Mass in the very near future. So we'll fill you in on that next week.
Suspense.
Father Schneider doesn't even know.
I didn't even know that. This is the first time hearing of it. So
we should talk more of it.
We should. All right, you guys have a wonderful day and have a great weekend.
All right,
see you
bye-bye.
soon.